Thank you, Mr. Chair. We've learned of the devastating effects of intentional declassification of material by an NSA contractor, which has effectively betrayed his country. Now I'm concerned about an unintentional leak of millions of Americans' sensitive data, and this is a new article that just came out that I'd like to ask you about. It came out last evening from Bill Gertz wrote the article, and I quote from it. U.S. intelligence agencies last week urged the Obama administration to check its new healthcare network for malicious software after learning that developers linked to the Belarus government helped produce the website, raising fresh concerns that private data posted by millions of Americans will be compromised. Officials warned programmers in Belarus, a former Soviet republic closely allied with Russia, were suspected of inserting malicious code that could be used for cyber attacks. The software links millions of Americans who signed up for Obamacare to the federal government and more than 300 medical institutions and healthcare providers. The U.S. Affordable Care Act software was written in part in Belarus by software developers under state control, and that makes the software a potential target for cyber attacks, one official said. They said the potential threat to the U.S. healthcare data is compounded by what they said was an internet data hijacking last year involving Belarusian state-controlled networks. The month-long diversion covertly rerouted massive amounts of U.S. internet traffic to Belarus. It goes on to say, officials said there are serious concerns that the Belarusian software contains malicious code that could be used to covertly route data from the Obamacare website to foreign locations. Additionally, they suspect the Belarusians planted secret backdoor openings to the software that will permit surreptitious entry to U.S. government networks by hackers or spies. The malicious code could reroute Obamacare website data to Belarus or possibly permit illegal backdoor access to the healthcare.gov network and other government and health industry networks. The security vulnerability could provide access to all necessary personal information of U.S. residents for identity theft and privacy violations. The article went on to say that the threat of diversion is compounded by the discovery that Belarus covertly diverted massive amounts of internet traffic, U.S. internet traffic, to Belarus. According to David Kennedy, head of the security firm Trusted Security, he said the Obamacare website was not designed well. It has a lot of security flaws. One major concern is that the system connects the healthcare network to other sensitive U.S. government networks, including the Internal Revenue Service and the Department of Homeland Security. That makes it a treasure trove for hijackers, Kennedy said in an interview, adding that a major concern would be cyber attacks from sophisticated state-sponsored adversaries. The threat of backdoor access points is a particular worry because the Chinese military-linked Huawei Technologies is suspected of using that technique in its network equipment, Kennedy said. Also contained in the article was the statement from the National Security Council spokeswoman Caitlin Hayden, who said an intelligence report on the Belarus software was recalled by the intelligence community shortly after it was issued. I'm wondering if you could comment on why that intelligence report was recalled after it was issued, and also could you tell this Congress and also the American people why in the world Health and Human Services shouldn't immediately shut down and properly stress test the healthcare.gov website to ensure that consumers are protected from potential security risks from across the globe?
Well, I have to get back to you on that. I'm not familiar, wasn't aware of the article.
Are you aware of the problem?
No, I'm not. I don't. Fortunately, the Affordable Care Act is not my responsibility. But
well,
we'll look into this,
Director Clapper,
particularly the allegation about a report being withdrawn. I don't know anything about it. We'll have to get back to you.
Director Clapper, the article says that U.S. intelligence agencies last week urged the Obama administration to check its new health care site. You are the Director of National Intelligence. You are not aware of this threat, and that U.S. intelligence agencies last week urged the Obama administration to check the website.
I am not aware of anyone in the intelligence community doing that.
Is there anyone at the table that is aware of this issue or has heard of this issue? Director Brennan?
I read the report that you are referencing there. I saw it in the paper, but that's it.
Are you aware of the intelligence communities alerting the administration to this last week?
No, I'm not.
Are you aware of the report that was withdrawn?
I am not.
Director Comey, are you aware of this report of the intelligence agencies that alerted the Obama administration to this cyber threat last week?
No, I'm not. This is the first I've heard of the matter.
And Director Flynn, are you aware of this report that was issued last week to the Obama administration?
I am not.
Director Olson, are you aware of this report that was issued last week?
No.
You are not. So no one at the table is aware of this report that was issued last week. I find this outrageous, considering the fact that we are looking at one of the worst intentional leaks in American history conducted by an NSA contractor, and in the midst of that, this is one of the largest unintentional leaks that could impact personally every American citizen, as we are now required to sign up for health care, what this will mean. Because the President of the United States recently stated that 3 million Americans have signed up for health care on this website, which now is potentially vulnerable to an ally of the Russian government. And I see my time has expired. I yield back.
Well, thank you very much for your testimony today. Although
One thing I've learned, Congresswoman, over the years is not to believe everything I read in the media.